The Hunter Biden case is about to get a lot more interesting as he and his lawyers are expected to use the Bruen ruling in his defense, a ruling his own father called deeply troubling because of the potential boost it gives to gun rights. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. The Hunter Biden saga has already been a roller coaster. Would he be charged or wouldn't he? Then he got this crazy plea deal, then it fell apart, all while the left says that gun owners are hypocrites for cheering for charges. What they fail to understand is that the cheers are because anyone not as politically connected as Biden would have already been thrown in jail by an anti-gun regime that has no problem rejecting gun purchases and license applications from folks with medical marijuana cards, but has attempted to look the other way when the president's son smokes crack and lies during a gun purchase. All gun laws are unconstitutional, but if the gun control crowd wants more laws, they should first enforce the ones on the books and enforce them equally. Now, for the folks who aren't Hunter Biden or don't have millions of ill-gotten dollars to spend but are thinking ahead, I want to talk to you about the Attorneys for Freedom law firm, a new self-defense plan for gun owners that was created by a criminal defense attorney. You might already have CCW insurance or have heard of these gun insurance plans. What you may not know is if the insurance company says the shooting was not justified as self-defense and you were convicted of a crime, coverage ends. You might not also be covered if you used your firearm in self-defense in a gun-free zone, had drugs or alcohol in your system, or if it was in a domestic dispute. Now, as a responsible gun owner myself, I would not want to trust my self-defense shooting to an insurance company. I'd much rather have the Attorneys for Freedom's experienced and aggressive legal defense team on retainer 24/7. So if you're a gun owner and want the legal defense without the endless exclusions of an insurance company, join the Attorneys on Retainer Self-Protection Program. Make the switch from your existing self-defense plan today and receive $50 off your sign-up fee using promo code LibertyDoll at my link down in the description. Now back to the news. Hunter has pled not guilty to 3 felony gun charges relating to buying a gun while on crack and lying about it, and lawyers are expected to ask for them to be dismissed on the grounds the federal law banning drug users from owning guns is unconstitutional under Bruen, meaning, by their argument, the law has no historical counterpart and violates the Second Amendment. And it's true that there are no obvious historical analogs, and it's not within the tradition of the Second Amendment. Regardless, it's clear that that law did not stop Hunter Biden from getting a gun. Twice. While I wonder if the judge would decide not to dismiss just based on the shenanigans in this case so far, there's already some precedent on Hunter's side. Aside from Bruen, the Fifth Circuit just ruled in August that it is unconstitutional, at least in some circumstances, to bar a sober individual from gun ownership based on past drug use. Of course, we have video of Hunter smoking crack while in possession of a gun, so it's possible it's a moot point, no matter how hard the left wants to argue that it's fake video Russian propaganda. But that's just in regard to the possession charge. The other 2 charges are lying on the 4473 at a time that he may or may not have been a drug user. Prosecutors are probably going to argue that 19th century laws against drunks and certain undesirables owning guns is the historical context needed. And while some of those laws did look at substance use, some of them were also rooted in racism and keeping black folks in their place, so we'll see how that argument plays out. The left loves the race card, but only when it's in their favor. The 11th Circuit is also set to hear a case in which medical marijuana users in Florida are challenging the prohibition law as well. Another similar case is being heard in Oklahoma before the 10th Circuit. There's also the case regarding whether or not someone under a domestic violence restraining order can constitutionally be prohibited from gun possession. That one is going to the Supreme Court, is scheduled for November 7th. It's expected to clarify how dangerous someone has to be a prohibited person, but in that case, the Rahimi case, It'll prove to be interesting as he's not exactly the star citizen. He allegedly assaulted his girlfriend in a parking lot and shot his gun when he noticed he had witnesses. He's also a convicted drug dealer, though that is not the main issue in the case. Either way, not exactly upstanding and law-abiding. There's also speculation that the defense could cite Range v. Garland, in which the Third Circuit, which includes Delaware, where the Hunter case will be heard, ruled that it's unconstitutional to automatically bar someone from owning a gun just because they were convicted of a crime that could be punishable by over a year in prison. But that case doesn't really have any direct parallels, as it was about a guy who lied about his income when he applied for food stamps. So not quite on the same level as smoking crack, buying a gun, and eventually leaving it in a trash can somewhere. As you can see, there are a lot of moving parts here. I will be very interested to see how this all plays out. Of course, a plea deal is still possible, though the speculation is right now that the lawyers are basically trying to bide time until some of these other cases get decided. It certainly puts the judge in an interesting position of convict the president's son or give a win for gun rights. We'll see how it all plays out. In the meantime, I of course will be keeping an eye on all of this and all of these cases. If you want to follow along with these updates or catch some interesting, I think, Second Amendment history, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell to get your updates. I would also encourage you to check out my other channel, Liberty Homestead, which I will be linking down in the description. And if you are feeling especially spicy, you can, if you want, just saying, nominate me in the Gundy Awards, as the nominations are now open for Female Voice. Because let's be real, I'm not competing with Jared or Iraq Veteran. It ain't happening. Anyways, that is it for this video. As always, thanks for tuning in, and happy shooting.